The other view, of course, is the wider perspective of a thriving city, both from a market for goods perspective as well as the talent pool perspective. And it's about growth. London, I think in line with what I would call the global megatrend of urbanization, so the expectation that by 2050, 70% of the world's population will be living in cities. And London is not going to stand still in retaining its capacity to deliver both market and workforce. And as the chart here shows you, something in the order of 1 million people are anticipated to be added to the city's population over the next 20 years. That's analogous to adding the population of, say, Detroit or Zurich to the existing London population over the next 2 decades. And in fact, rising off the chart here to over 9 million people by the time 2030 comes around. Now, most of this growth is actually going to happen to the east of the city centre as it is today, because that's where the most space, be that greenfield, be it brownfield, most space is to the east. Now, this is part in due to what I want to go on and talk about now, which is this little thing we've got happening in 2012, the Olympic and Paralympic Games. Now, the Games in themselves, we believe, are representing a significant business opportunity that we're seeing many foreign investors take advantage of already. From an economic perspective, the Games are adding something in the order of 10 billion in terms of what's being spent to build and deliver, 10 billion euros. From a logistical perspective, the Games are like holding 26 world championships in the variety of sports covered at the same time. And from a business perspective, there's something in the order of 2,000 prime contracts that are being let for the provision of build and operate of the Games. And those in turn will deliver something like 75,000 subcontracts. And these are being made openly available in a very transparent way to companies from anywhere in the world. Interesting to see that it was actually a French company, Atos Origin, that has won one of the main IT contracts. It's the American agency, McCann Erickson, that has won one of the main marketing services contracts for the Games. So all of this contracting and letting is being handled through an open internet platform called Compete4. Compete4, the number 4.com is a place you can go and register your business and your types of interest, and that system will then flag to you contracts as they are let that could be interesting to you. Principal elements, the people and the talent, the compounding effect of currency. I think it's also important just to touch on the openness of the London market for accessing a wider base of opportunity within Europe. It goes without saying that many factors have made London a top global city, despite the economic conditions. In fact, just a few weeks ago, the World Bank have published a doing business or ease of doing business survey, which has confirmed the UK is the easiest place in Europe to do business. I think that's partly about market access, the fact that we sit as a gateway, as a springboard to 500 million people across the European continent. So whether it's that scale of market opportunity you face, or it's the 8 million consumers in London, the 25 million consumers within an hour and a half of London in the UK, the time zone and the connectivity benefits that London offers continue to make it this natural hub to reach the European, maybe even African and Middle Eastern markets as well. The diversity, I think, is another aspect of openness, and that's evidenced from a business perspective in terms of the sectoral diversity of the city, with creative industries in its many guises, life sciences and pharmaceuticals, technology being one of the major markets of the city, business services. There's very much a nascent environmental sector emerging, strongly supported by the city's administration and policies there. And yes, of course, financial services. We continue to see London at the hub of the capital markets, just confirmed again this week with the global financial index being published, confirming New York and London as the number 2 and number 1 slots respectively in global financial centres. And lastly, of course, the cultural diversity that's implicit in a city that has 300 languages being spoken and 25% of the population being born overseas. So to the question of, is that window closing? Well, it's a question on everyone's lips at the minute, certainly within our domestic setting here. You know, is the recession, is the downturn really over? And if it's not, how much longer is it going to run? And you know, with that, what are the other favourable investment conditions that we talked about going to continue? And as Barbara intimated at the start, the straight answer is we don't know. Certainly we're seeing many positive indications of recovery in the UK market and the London economy specifically. Some are on the screen here. Since May, we've seen the UK economy showing signs that certainly its industrial output has bottomed and perhaps been growing for a couple of months now. It's interesting that the NIESR, which is a think tank research body here in the UK, were cautious to say that returning to growth shouldn't be confused with a return to normal economic conditions. I think we need to be mindful of that. We've also seen UK services sector returning to growth in the last month or so. And the Institute of Chartered Accountants has also been so bold as to suggest that the recession is at an end. So many indicators, certainly, that would suggest perhaps there's a shift away from the level of tactical enhanced opportunity. So to conclude, I think that, as we said, there are indicators there that the decline has halted. I think the supply of talent and property in the London market may well respond in turn to these trends in other economic indicators. So we're certainly encouraging all our clients and potential investors to either maintain their current plan or potentially to expedite if they want to benefit from some of these tactical opportunities of supply being increased and price being decreased. So given the ongoing interest and enthusiasm of investors, particularly from Asia, we do believe that competition for the resources of people and property in particular are going to increase. And you see some companies on your screen here that we've worked with over the last 12 months or so that have continued to either execute their plans to come into London. Alibaba, for example, China's largest B2B trading exchange. Touchdown London is a facility that we have available for prospective investors that are looking to put their first person on the ground in London. And Touchdown is essentially a combination of facilities and services. So we work in conjunction with a managed office provider to give the first hot desk free of charge for 12 months as a way to allow you to come in and start to experience the market opportunity and to make plans without the burden of office facility costs. And we've worked with many companies, most recently, and just announced last week, in fact, TerraCycle, a very innovative recycling company from New Jersey, from Trenton, in fact, that have just set up using this facility. Out of these facilities and services, we do dedicate a business consultant to you as well as part of this service to work through developing your business case and your market entrance to London. So hopefully that just gives you a flavour of where we believe the indicators are at and why London's tactical opportunity, so the benefit of investing now rather than later, remains a real serious consideration that people should be giving.